Happy belated Mother's Day to ladies.
Thank you.
And I'm here to talk about two mothers from the Old Testament. One is Abraham's wife, Sarai, who was not able to bear children. She was barren. And then another I will mention about mother of Moses a little bit. Probably, I believe those two women which we can look up to. Sarah, when she left with Abraham, and Abraham was led to go to the land which God called him to go. And he didn't know exactly where he's going, but he trusted the Lord, and he came out from the land of idolatry. And he took his nephew, which God didn't tell him to take him, Lot, with him. But the point I would like to make that God promised Abraham, so through your seed, the promise, all the nations will be blessed. In Genesis 12:3, and he said that and those who bless you will be blessed, and those who curse you will be cursed. It's real promise which was given to Abraham. And the Lord appeared to Abraham and spoke to him a couple of times during his journey of faith. Because when the Lord promised Abraham a son, and he was childless, and he was already in advanced years, and Sarah was barren, Abraham believed God, and that what was counted to him for righteousness. And after that, God himself made his covenant with Abraham. And when the covenant made, and he became from exalted father Abram, and he became Abraham, father of multitude, because from Abraham we know that a couple of religions can relate to it, right? To Father Abraham. So, and after a while, Sarai was childless. There was no child, but they passed through Egypt because it was famine in the land, and without God telling him to go to Egypt, Abraham ended up being in Egypt for a short time, and there he acquired that servant Egyptian girl. And after a while, Sarai kind of directed him and said, you know what, God promised you a child. And after a while, after 10 years, after so many years, I will give you, that was tradition back then, my servant. And when that servant conceived, and Abraham listened Sarai, which he shouldn't never done. This is what we're doing when we're doing and relying on our own thinking and on our own devices. And the Ishmael was born. And when servant was conceived, when the child was conceived, and his name was, Lord told him to call him Ishmael. The God told Isaac, through the seed which I promise you, all the promises, the blessing will come. And after separation from Lot, after a certain time, the Lord came, like 3 people appeared before Abraham. And one of them was the Lord, or pre-incarnate appearance of Yeshua HaMashiach. It was in Old Testament, as we understand. And they said that Sarai will, 1 year from now, the child will be born. Because after God did a covenant with Abraham, he said, well, how it can be promise of multitude and my descendants like stars of the heaven if I am childless? And Sarai kind of laughed down in the tent, and God said, why Sarai laughed? And she was afraid, and she said, I didn't laugh. I didn't. But she was conceived, and this is something which I would like to read, because this is a situation for all of us in our situation. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, advanced in age. Sarah, her name, was changed as well when God promises something, and he changes the name. She became mother of many nations too, and Sarah was past childbearing age, so her womb was a tomb, really. But because of faith, because of her faith, which she had in promises of God, she was able to conceive, and Isaac was born. And this is something probably important for us to see, that all those women, those mothers who we try to honor, they were women of faith. As a mother of Moses, who at the time when Moses was born, it was Pharaoh, who didn't know Joseph, who didn't know all the blessing. And it was Holocaust, different times. The children, male children, were thrown in the Nile to crocodiles. The child was born, and mother saw the child was beautiful. And in faith, she built a special basket, and she secured that. And in faith that God is able to keep what he promised, he let that basket to float, and his sister watched on the side. And sure and behold, the Pharaoh's daughter found that basket, and she understood that this is a Jewish child, and this is a Jewish baby, and
he was cute.
She and his sister was right there and asking, do you need somebody to raise a child? And the child is winning a child, we're talking about between 3 and 9 years old. And she said, yes, I will need to find. And of course, she found the mother of Moses. So he was raised by his mother because she was a woman of faith. She believed that God is able. And of course, she, through all these years, she was able to instill in his heart promises of God, his character, and what a future promises he has for his people, which he gave it to Abraham, that after 400 years, when the sin of Amorite will be full, your descendants will come out of Egypt and come to the land of Canaan. So this is, I would like to just honor this and bring it to us that we will have to understand that we will have to stand in the gap for our children, especially here probably in America like never before. Because nowadays what's happening with education, nowadays what we see with culture, it's like post-Christian culture in America, and prayers were taken from the schools. But mothers of faith, they really pray, they really very important role. We cannot underestimate mothers who pray for their children, crying out to God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to deliver them from the evil one. And I would like to honor our mothers here, those who are standing and loving their children. Yes, love is very important for our children. A wisdom which you instill, but beside that, you will have to, we all will have to be women of faith who will stand on the knees and crying for our children. because the minds of the children under attack, their bodies under attack. We see that it's right in our face through the news, which is hard to see what's happening. And I just pray that God will give you strength, wisdom, and that you will be honored as a mother in the home by your husband, that they will love you, and that the children will call you blessed. In the name of Yeshua, I pray.